I'm going to start the horoscopes for Chiron. We're going to be talking about Chiron and Aries tonight because even though that Aries new moon is long gone, we're still manifesting in that energy. It set the stage for the year, the new astrological year. So for the next 12 months, right, we'll still be heavily in this energy. And it's going to come up 2 more times in a major way this year simultaneously, which is going to give us a glimpse into what we'll be working on, moving towards for next year in a really major way. Because on May 11th, we will have Jupiter move into Aries, and then that'll be there until October. And then Gemini will have a 6-month transit Gemini and Mars, the ruler of Aries. I'm gonna get my life together. Will be there for a 6-month transit, right? And that starts August 20th until October as well. It'll go retrograde for a little while and then it'll go back direct. And so anything that's coming up from May to October, we really need to pay attention to, because that's what we'll be working on for the next year. And the reason why I thought Chiron was such an important conversation to have is because it focuses on our wounds, right, and areas where we need to heal. Now, Chiron has been in Aries for a while now. Hi, Maki, how you doing? What's going on with you? I just did an unboxing for Divine Alchemy. I got some great stuff from her. And now I'm doing horoscopes, so I don't know if you really be into this kind of stuff, but yeah, so the new moon was conjunct Chiron, and Chiron is about where all of our wounds are, where we're doing a lot of healing, the deeper healing. Chiron is the wounded here. He said, I'm great, Queen. Aww, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, sweetheart. Chiron is where we're doing all the work to heal our wounds, and because it's in Aries, it's really about the self, self-discovery. And so with that Pisces energy, we're doing a lot of internal work about who we really are and what we really want. And I feel like this still goes back to 2020 when we had the shutdown, because that's when we really got a chance to sit down with ourselves. And I think for a lot of people, a lot of things became not like it wasn't there before, but that deeper inner stuff came up to the surface now. It was just one of those type of things where we couldn't really run from it anymore. And because we've had Pluto and Capricorn for a while, it was pretty intense. And so we're having that again, kind of, sort of, not really, in a very different way, because Pluto is still in Capricorn and it's in the South Node now. And the South Node is where we release all of our demons, if you will, or the parts about us that we might be ashamed of or embarrassed about, or just struggle with, especially from the societal norms, because you got to think, Scorpio is all that taboo stuff, but to the alternative culture and open-minded people, taboo culture is what's up. That's where you really get to be you. But to society, that stuff is really shunned upon, and that could be a lot of different things. How you make your money. Are you ashamed of that? The type of work that you do, are you ashamed of that? Or is there guilt around it? Or do you feel guilty about asking for money for the work that you do? Or are there any insecurities there that you're working on? Or this could be even like things around your work life. With everything that's going on in the world, it's not really the same anymore. I mean, I know there are still some people out there who need jobs and who are working, but a lot of people are trying to move away from that but don't really know how. And there's been like this tension between, well, do I do that or do I do what I want to do? And how do I manage that and support myself on that journey? And so like getting information, learning, studying, educating ourselves on how to do that, about money, investments, right? All those kind of things could be coming up in a major way. And then I think that Jupiter in Aries is also going to enforce self-employment in a major way, right? And so it's going to be really different from what we're used to. And anytime you have a big change like that without really having the know-how behind it, it makes it a little bit more intense and difficult. And so I think we're going to see a lot of those themes come up. I've talked about this on my other channel. I did all the horoscopes for each sign with the Chiron. So if you want more, you have to go to my YouTube page to get all that information. But what I really wanted to do is the horoscopes where we're kind of talking about what's happening now with all this energy coming up. And so I don't know, I just thought it was interesting to see. And I'm just going to jump right on into it, y'all. And then I'm going to pull some Ashe Queen cards. Maki, Miss Divine, right? I got these from her. Her Ashe Queen cards. I'll be pulling one of those after I do each reading to give you some love and TLC to go with it, All right, so Aries, this can be guilt, shame, or insecurities around who you are, your personality, and the way you show up in the world. There could be insecurities around your appearance that cause you to want to have a makeover in some way, shape, or form. You could be thinking about making yourself over in some way, shape, or form, because Aries rules the first house. So this is usually around things around self-worth, what you value, especially about yourself, but just in general, and your appearance, the way you show up. That could be physical, your physical body, or attitude-wise, and how you speak to people and how you address things, especially if you're in like a leadership role or something like that. And so there could be a lot of stuff going on with that, where you're really being forced to rethink that, change that, so that on a higher level you show up as the leader that you would like to be eventually. And so doing the work to get comfortable in your skin, okay? So let's pull a card for you. He said, yes, I know. Ashe Queen card, yeah. Yes, hey, take care. I'm going to get some things done. Okay, sweetheart, take care. All right, it says, I am giving myself permission to be me. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, Taurus, there can be guilt, shame, or insecurities around illness or being rehabilitated in some way, shape, or form, or your mental faculties and wellness. Or this could be around, your health, your spirituality, your intuition. You could be fighting yourself in the way you feel about that. And so getting stronger, there could be a lot of things coming up that's going to help you get stronger. And so you might not see it now. It might feel uncomfortable now. But overall, what you're going to do is build a better intuition, so better boundaries, getting more grounded in your expectations, right? And your spirituality, whatever that is to you. So maybe having faith, learning how to have faith within something, and believing in that and not letting anything get in the way of that. I think that's the most thing, especially if you're like, throughout this process, if you find yourself always tired, sleepy, or wanting to relax, or and you feel guilty about that, right? Because you could be a really hard worker. Tauruses are really hard workers, and this time around you could be really called to let it go, and do more self-care stuff, or behind the scenes stuff, right? And that could be making you feel a little guilty, or to have shame around that. But ultimately what you're doing is you're building your intuition, you're trusting yourself, right? And it's hard because this is 12th house stuff, and so well said. Thank you. And so unfortunately what that could bring is like you might not see it yet, and you could feel really bad about that, but that's what you're building up at this time. And so let's pull a card for you. I am allowing myself creative impulses to flow freely. All right now. All right. I like it. Gemini. You'll start to feel more a part of a group. Any guilt, shame, or insecurities around friends and groups is going to be healed. Healing old wounds around one-to-one relationships or with a romantic relationship. You may be showing up as a healer or an influence of healing in your groups. So I actually really like that. I needed to hear that. And so if you've been running into a lot of friends who unfortunately you felt like they haven't been giving you what it is you were looking for, or your expectations and what you want to get out of your friendships. So now there could be a lot of things coming up that are going to force you to ask yourself those tough questions around what is it do you really want from your friends, and being able to communicate that, right? Straight out the gate, don't wait for something to come up to be like, oh, here we go with this again. It could feel like that, like you're just repeating same person or same issue in different people, and so getting stronger and speaking up and saying what you expect out of your friendships and the groups that you are connecting with, and people could really start to see that within you, and you become an influence to others on how to speak up around what it is you're looking for. Okay, so let's pull a card for you. I am feeling and releasing my emotions. Perfect. Okay. Cancer, there can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around putting yourself out there in order to progress, accomplish your goals, in order to have the recognition, career, public reputation, and legacy you want to leave behind for the work and contribution you put in. This could also be around public speaking or presentation. Presentation is everything. Bless code. What's going on with you? How you doing? Doing Chiron and Aries horoscopes. So, anywho, Cancer. This could be something like maybe perhaps for a really long time you've been taking the back seat in something. And not necessarily like not sticking up for yourself. I don't think it's anything like that. I think you might have had a bunch of different experiences where you really had to stand up for yourself and be like, that's absolutely not what I'm saying. That's absolutely not who I am. This is who I am. And so you probably already had a bunch of different challenges that have forced you to stand in front of who you are, and the legacy that you want to leave. Whatever it is that you're building on, your integrity here, how you want to show up to the world. There could be like a lot of things that might have come up with this over time, and you are just like, now you've got it. You've got a system, a structure in place that shows everybody this is who you are. And this is what you absolutely will not accept. And not in a disrespectful way, but in a way that you're proud of, that you can feel good about. And so now, this is something that you'll have to reinforce throughout time until you evolve within that process. So let's see. I am protected by angels and loving ancestors. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Leo, you're going to learn something new around your beliefs, philosophy, worldview, culture, or spiritual practice that is going to challenge your beliefs. But it's going to bring in some kind of healing and confidence to whatever it is that you may have been going through. And so this is ninth house stuff. So maybe you are working on becoming, some kind of teacher or spiritual leader. And over this time, you might have had to have faced a lot of backlash, difficulties, meeting others' expectations against yours, really questioning if this is what you really believe and why, and getting firm within that, right? And so that has led you to build stronger belief systems, and practices that match your integrity, who you are, what you want to teach, and which route you're heading in. And you're getting stronger in that. I actually think this is going to be great over time, especially for next year, because Aries is a fire sign. That's going to spark up something really wonderful. So, wow. I am radiant beauty and thriving health. I know that's the fuck, right? Boom. Okay, Virgo, there can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around finances due to past trauma or experiences that could be healed. And maybe even you're becoming a healer by, maybe it's finances that you're doing, but whatever it is you're doing it and you're doing it healthily. So this is healthy work-life balance, healthy money and financial matters, healthy relationships, making sure that you're not forgetting about yourself in the process, because Virgo's another really hard worker, and you can almost do it to your detriment. And if you're teaching something, it doesn't matter if it has anything to do with them speaking about whatever it is. In order for you to show up as a teacher, you have to practice what you preach, right? And so there could have been a lot of instances where you've wanted to show up in a specific kind of way, but maybe perhaps was unable to because you were working too hard, or you wasn't practicing what you're teaching. And so now you're learning how to do that. You're learning to love it, and you're learning the balance that it takes within it to show up as the person that you want. So I like it. I am expressing my truth fully. That was a mouthful. Okay. Boom. Libra. There may be some vulnerabilities, shame, insecurities, guilt, and relationships that can be revealed, worked on, or uncovered by talking things through. But be careful of the language you use, or it could be that someone's being triggered. You have to remember that it's not them, it's you. So think before you speak. So this reminds me of the mirror, right? So you could be attracting a lot of people right now, Libra, who are reflecting exactly where you're at. And if you're lashing out at them because you're frustrated about it, then this means this is something that you need to work on, right? It's not about the other person. So, like oftentimes you'll hear a lot of people complain about like, oh, my life sucks because of such and such, or a particular relationship is showing up as such and such, and they'll complain about it publicly. That's because they're not recognizing the signs, right? The signs that that person is showing up for you. That's your message. That's the universe's way of showing you have more work to do, right? And so this is accountability for the relationships that you're attracting in your life. And what are you doing to work on that or work through that? Or just acknowledging it, right? Acknowledge the fact that, okay, I see this. I am recognizing this as something that I've ran into before. And if you don't want it anymore, sometimes you have to show the universe that you don't want it anymore by saying, no, thank you. I understand where you're at. I can see that now. And I'm just trying to be better and do better. So I'm going to pass on this relationship, friendship, whatever it is, a sibling, family member. It could be any relationship, work-related stuff. And that's how you move through that energy. It's not always necessarily that you have to do some kind of work, because everybody's at different levels with this, right? And so this could genuinely just be that you've done a lot of work, but sometimes the universe will come through and test you to see how serious you are about the lessons that have already come up in your life. And so again, when you see these things showing up as something that you have already dealt with, first of all, be mindful on the language that you use to cut it off, right? You don't want to be rude, disrespectful, or anything like that. And then making sure that you actually do say no, and stand firm on that. And that's okay, because you're going to have a lot of different relationships coming towards you, but not all. You don't have to accept all of them, right? Because Libras can sometimes be people pleasers and it's hard for them to say no. And so this is your acknowledgement to say no. Okay, so let's see what you pull up. I am seen, heard, and felt. Fuck yeah. Yeah, you are. The fuck. Scorpio. There can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around your work or ability to work. This could be work-related projects, co-workers. That's very uncomfortable. And so you might be in a healing profession, or moving into a healing profession, or you're healing specifically. And so I feel like this is more so about like, there's a part of me that wants to say to be more vulnerable. Or maybe you're doing a lot more work on your own, and sometimes it's harder to do one-to-one relationships, especially if you're in a spiritual position. But I think this is about being vulnerable, approachable, letting your guard down enough to let people in so that you can learn from others, right? Because that Taurus Scorpio axis is about me and we, just like Aries and Libra, in a very different way though, right? This could be about your money, the money that you accumulate, your security. Hey, Naran, Jan, I hope I'm saying that right. How are you doing? Welcome. We're doing the Chiron and Aries horoscopes right now. I'm on Scorpio. And so there could be a lot of healing that's being done, right, around your how you open up to people, right, and still being able to do what you need to do around security. Yeah, because I feel like Scorpios really already have a strong foundation when it comes to who to let in their life and who not. So this is definitely more so about opening up to get more services. Oh, I know the feeling. Gosh, I just had a realizing moment because I got a lot of eighth house shit going on in my chart right now. So I feel you, Scorpio. I know, because what happens when you got any kind of Scorpio transits is that that bullshit goes off, and you can almost smell it a mile away. And so it's like typically you have stuff like so that you don't have to be bothered with it, but then you learn. You're not really learning if you're not interacting, right? It's the beautiful part of it about being born into the 3D worlds. Trust me, I wish I could avoid it too. But the only way to learn where you need to evolve, you have to open up to other relationships. And I think that's what this is really all about. Now, obviously, this could be work related, health related, even if you have pets. I think on a bigger scale, from this specific aspect, that could be showing up, and by way of where it is you need to do some more work. To just keep the evolution process going, right? Where you're learning, how you're learning, and things of that nature. And so, I think you'll be working on a lot of that stuff. I probably feel like you've already gotten a lot of these messages, and now it's just like staying in line with that and finding a happy place there, you know? Let's see. I am destined for greatness. Yeah, the fuck you are. Boom. Sagittarius. There can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around kicking back and enjoying yourself, doing the things you love to do. This is about healing relationships around children. Oh, this is a fifth house transit. So this could be entertainment, going out dating, having fun, feeling guilty about that, and finding some happy medium with that. Or, you know, maybe maybe you work a lot and you're trying to do a healthy work-life balance. You know, how do I still feed myself, my needs, my relaxation, my self-care, still date, and if you have kids and a family, how do I manage all of that? Right? This could be around your creative projects, fame even. You know, maybe you're very well known or have a lot of friends or whatever, and it's like, damn, every other weekend I got somewhere to go because you're so well known, or your business is booming, it's doing very well. And so how do you say no? I just want to really relax. And then it could also be with children, you know, and so maybe you're doing all these things and it's taken away from your time for your children, and your children be like, what the hell, I want some me time with you too. Right? Or this could be that your children are older and they're just remembering all that hard work that you do, and yeah, everybody's happy for you, you're doing well now, but at the same time they're like, but I remember what that success did to our relationship, and because of that we don't really know you anymore. Good golly, Miss Molly, I don't want to talk about it, okay? So this could be something that could be coming up to you. I can relate, trust me. And so you're figuring out how to manage all of that stuff, and overall it's going to end up healing yourself and the ones around you. So I am cooperating with the universe. I know that's right, because this shit could be really intense, you know? It really could be intense. So, boom, there you go, Saggies. Capricorn, there could be some awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around difficult conversations with family members, your ancestry, a home, or a place of living that's coming up for healing. That's interesting. I feel like this can go so many different ways. I feel like these is generational curses. You know, like something you're just realizing about yourself. That's a habit that you've been doing that stops you or blocks you from your blessings. And maybe you've figured out that, like, it had something to do with the way you were raised, or the environment you grew up in, or the house you grew up in, the neighborhood you grew up in, or, you know, again, some kind of family tradition that has always been passed down, and you're like wanting to break that generational curse. Like, what is it that I need to do that? That shit fucking hurts. That might sound like something that's super simple, but at the end of the day, that's a lot of work. You're talking about decades of habits and culture and things that you've learned that you're just like, damn, this really fucked me up, you know? And you're working through that by studying your history, learning your lineage, your bloodline. Maybe it could be things around your health that's passed down through your bloodline, or maybe it's because you don't have a will, or things that are passed down from generation to generation, and you're broke, you're poor, and you're tired of it. Like, how do you break that? Good Lord. That's like every Black American. Okay, not every Black American, but a pretty good portion of us. Like, that's our whole damn stories. Just the way it is, right? And so you are working on breaking that generational curse within your home, your family line, your bloodline. And that shit could be really stressful, you know, because you don't only just have to fight against your family, who you probably depend on the most to help you with your family, or even if it's the school, they certainly aren't fucking helping, which makes it fucking extra hard. And then you got society, TV, television, that all these things that come against you trying to break free or break the chains from this, but you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. You're going to succeed, and you're going to heal something in your family line through your family. Okay? Wow. These cards are serious. I am letting go of limiting beliefs. The fuck right? Yeah. Okay, Aquarius. There can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around education. There could be healing with neighbors or siblings. Also, this is a third house transit. Oh God. So the way you talk to people might be in question. Could anybody who knows an Aquarius and you piss them off, this is that's funny. That's funny. Working on your communication. Okay. Breathe. Okay. Your thought process and patterns, right? Even your daily routines and the way you go about doing things, your daily work schedule, errands, how you spend your free time mostly, you know, how you're doing that somehow, some way could be playing into this. Your education, studying, learning something. Maybe you're afraid if you learn something new that, I don't know, it's going to change you in some way, or you just think it's hard and you're not going to succeed because you didn't get good grades in elementary school. Ooh, I went through that when I first got out of prison, and I was like, I gotta go back to college, and I thought I was gonna freaking fail, and so that I wouldn't fail, I took all the I literally failed my test on purpose so that I could start at the lowest level, and everything that I did. It was a brilliant plan in the process, because then I had to start from the bottom and work my way up. And so I took the easy route out. You could try that. I hope that story helps you. It worked for me. I learned a lot, actually, by doing that, and got a lot of support in the process. So it could be something like that coming up for you, or this could be like repairing relationships with your siblings, cousins, neighbors. in some way, shape, or form. That can be very healing for you at this time. And so you're breaking free from something, possibly from childhood, things that have come up since childhood that might still be happening. And you're working through those, mentally processing through that stuff. Or it's the study and learning and all that stuff. So you will get through it, you know. It's probably something that's burning in you right now. And so when you do, that's going to heal whatever this is that's happening with you. I am cleansing my aura and my space. I freaking love these cards. Oops. I should pre-showing it over here too, huh? I'm just ignoring this whole camera. You know what? It is what it is. Okay, Pisces. There can be an awkwardness, guilt, shame, or insecurities around a message or messages that's going to bring major healing. Or this could be things around materialism, money, that's changing. Ooh, so this is a second house transit. Okay. This one's tough. So maybe you overspend a lot and you're working on how to buy things more what you want as opposed to what you need. So this is budgeting, financial literacy, education around that stuff, really getting strict on that. Or like maybe you're making a big purchase. These things usually come up when you're buying a house for sure, or even leasing a car, although they're not going to have this conversation with you. It's more so a house than a car. But like anytime you're doing any kind of loan or asking for a loan or buying a big ticketed item, it requires you to have some kind of good credit or something like that, right? And so within that process, you're asked or given classes that you have to take to show you how to budget better, savings, and what those things are to either get that big purchase or to actually make that big purchase, right? And so maybe you haven't had to do that, or maybe you don't have the money to do that, and so you got to get a raise or get more money or work your way up to it, or you have it and now it's about managing it. Now you got to keep doing that stuff. It doesn't just stop now because you bought the house. You got to continue, make that a way of life, right? You know, and this could be really, really hard. And somehow, some way, as you learn this, understand this, get more values, or get more structured or grounded within your values, within your spending, it's healing. You know, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to learn how to value the things that you do from this point on. So I am persistent in achieving my goals. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, family, I don't know about y'all, but that was lickety lit. Okay. Boom. Yeah, man. I hope that you found this information helpful. It says doing the most media. What's going on with you? I'm just wrapping up now. So, yes, family, I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.